Welcome back to A to Z here on Locked On Sports Atlanta, free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Search Locked On Sports Atlanta. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Thursday. And it starts tonight. The Braves, the Mets, 5 games, 4 days. Giddy up. Before we get to that, let's hand out a shovel of wisdom.
Brace yourselves, because it's time for the shovel of wisdom.
Yeah, you know how we do it. Today we love to whack somebody right upside the head and set them straight for saying or doing something stupid. And today my shovel goes to Brad Doolittle. You guys know Brad Doolittle? Yeah, Bradford Doolittle. He's a staff writer for ESPN, covering Major League Baseball. And he wrote up the best teams in order of how they did it to trade deadline. And he has at the top of this thing, obviously, the San Diego Padres, right? Then after the Padres, he's got the Yankees, which I don't know if they would be the second best team, but nonetheless, the Astros third, the Mets fourth, the Atlanta Braves fifth. And the headline he says is, "Hey, it worked last year." And here's the write-up, and I want to read this to you because this is one of these things where just like, I don't know if it's hot take or what, but it says last season, felt like Braves GM Alex Anthopoulos had lost control of himself as he acquired one outfielder after another when it felt like a pointless quest to fill the gigantic shoes of injured star Ronald Acuna Jr. Then, of course, some of those outfielders were instrumental in helping the Braves win the World Series. This time around, the Braves didn't have as big a hole to fill, but they did recently lose Adam Duvall for the season and still don't know when they might get Ozzie Albies back in the lineup. Rex Grossman, dear Lord, Freudian slip. Robbie Grossman is usually a good complimentary outfielder, but he's having a tough season. Maybe the change in scenery will help, but he's also a 32-year-old journeyman. Meanwhile, Anthopoulos remade the dynamic of his bullpen on the fly, sending off Will Smith, bringing in Jake Odorizzi for the back of his rotation, possible just as a luxury addition, and swapping a real prospect in Tucker Davidson for closer Raciel Iglesias, who's been wildly inconsistent this season. And by the way, Atlanta already has Kenley Jansen. Anthopoulos has earned the benefit of the doubt after last season, but this feels off. Bottom line, fingers crossed. Okay. I would argue with Brad that Anthopoulos has earned the benefit of the doubt well before last season. Last season was the only year that it actually paid off in a World Series. But Alex Anthopoulos has made deal after deal after deal after deal, both here, Los Angeles, and Toronto, that have benefited those franchises greatly. So the idea that he's only earned the benefit of the doubt last year is because he won the World Series. But yet, the weird part is that you say he's earned the benefit of the doubt, but then you tell him just fingers crossed? I don't get it. Alex Anthopoulos has done more than earn the benefit of the doubt. He's one of the most aggressive, shrewd GMs in all of Major League Baseball, and there is literally no reason to think that the moves that he's made will flop. Now, will they be grand successes? That may not, we don't know that yet. But will they flop? I think that's a different conversation. Okay. Mets and Braves. I know, by the way, Charlie Morton was fantastic yesterday. And I have to say that because I was giving the business to some of my friends. And I'm not going to lie. I know you hate me for this, but secretly I was hoping Charlie Morton would have a bad start because it increased my case to Spencer Strider. Although my case for Spencer Strider being in the starting rotation in the playoffs is already pretty well set. I don't need any help with that. So there's that. But it was good to see Morton provide a good quality start for the team when they needed it. Despite the fact the Braves didn't win the game, still, it was one of those things where the more that he's on track, the better off you're going to be. Okay. We now have 3.5 games separating the Mets and the Atlanta Braves. If either team wins 3 out of 5, it's only a 1-game swing, right? It's just like taking 2 out of 3. Nothing really changes. However, winning 4 out of 5 would obviously dynamically change the picture of this thing because if the Mets win 4 out of 5, they're now up 6.5 games as we hit the second week of August. If the Braves win 4 out of 5, they're only a half game out as we hit the second week of August. And you're going to see every Braves starter in this thing. And you might even see Odorizzi, to be honest with you, because tonight it is Kyle Wright and Carlos Carrasco And then scheduled for Friday is Ian Anderson and Taijuan Walker. I can't believe Ian Anderson is actually still getting a start. But he has been better on the road this year than at home. All that said, you're going to get the rest of it because after that, it should be Max Fried, then it should be Spencer Strider, and then it should be Charlie Morton. But given the fact that Saturday is the doubleheader, you may see Odorizzi in one of those spots, and they may push back somebody else. And I don't know if Strider would be the guy they push back just to give him some extra rest. Alex Anthopoulos said on the radio yesterday, there is no innings limit. They don't do it. They don't believe it. Those words aren't spoken in the Braves organization. But that doesn't mean they can't push a guy's start back a couple of days, right? Like that's absolutely possible. So Odorizzi may fill in on Saturday. Well, he's likely going to have to because it would be Strider's normal turn in the rotation. Morton would be bumped up a day, so it could be Strider and Odorizzi on Saturday. I'm trying to go through it again in my head. What do we say? Saturday would be Max Fried. It might be Max Fried and Odorizzi, and then Strider on Sunday rather, and Morton takes his normal turn on Monday. Because if he just went yesterday, his normal turn would be Monday. So that's probably how that's going to work out in the rotation, at least the way it's planned to have worked out. While you're doing the math and everything else, and I'm just checking one more thing here to double check to make sure that I got this right. And they do have Fried and Odorizzi going on Saturday and Strider on Sunday. So I was right. Also, you're going to see the Mets don't have a second starter put together for the back half of the doubleheader, but you will see Scherzer and DeGrom back to back on Saturday and Sunday. And that's something that's really, really telling. The Braves are going to hit this stretch here over the course of the next, call it 18 days. Excuse me. 5 against the Mets, a quick reprieve, 2 against Boston, 2 against Miami. By the way, all these 11 games are on the road. And then they come back to Truist, 4 more against the Mets, 3 against the Astros. I told you about that 7-game series. That's your playoffs right there. To me, that whole week, Monday, August 15th through Sunday, August 21st, is playoff week. It's a 7-game series. Go get me 4 of those 7 and I'll be happy. I think that's the measure. But this series is going to be huge. Let's see who steps up. Let's see who performs well. Let's see how this all shakes out. But, the Braves' make or break on the NL East is probably over the next 18 days. And we're going to monitor it. That's really what it boils down to. And it starts with the 5 in New York. All right, that'll do it for us today here on A to Z. A lot to get to tomorrow. Again, we'll have a recap of game 1 of the series and wrap things up here on a Friday. Appreciate you guys spending your Thursday with us, making A to Z your first listen. Make your next listen hitting hard with John Chuckery right here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. You guys have a great day. Don't take the crap from anybody. See ya.